Hello everyone, today we are going to render this Chinese style bedroom. This is our final rendering. And this is the preview in DeFi Render. Before we get started, I want to show you all the lights I'm using. First, we have a HDR ambient light. And then we have two rectangular lights as our main light source. And one emissive background image. Inside the scene, we have multiple spotlights above the furniture. And then we have two street lights in the ceiling. One fixed light in this lamp. And two point lights in those two lamps. And that's all the lights we need. So I'm going to close DeFi now and we can start from scratch. Okay, let's start DeFi Render. Create new project. Create new scene and save the project. The first thing we need to do is adjust the camera. Let's go to Edit Camera. Change this to 2-point perspective and aspect ratio to 4:3. Now we can also change the FOV to a low value, 50 degrees. And select flight mode and change movement speed to 1, and we can now adjust the camera. Update the scene and exit the camera. Let's zoom out to check the default environment. As we can see, we have default green terrain and blue sky. Sometimes the green color and blue color will bleed into our interior, causing unwanted effects. So I'm going to delete the green terrain first. Now let's replace the default blue sky and go to HDR, select Custom, and we can use Pure Studio 7. And go to Effect and turn off the auto exposure and lower this value. And update the scene. Now let's select the background image and turn on this option so the lights can pass through this background image. Otherwise, it will block the lights. We can go back to the view. Now we are ready to create the main light source. Let's create a rectangular light outside the window. Just put it here and resize. And rotate 90 degrees. Let's move it to here. And increase the radius of this light. And then we can copy another light inside the window. Just put it here. And resize to make it smaller. And we can change the intensity to 15. And these two lights will be our main light source. Now let's create some strip light in the ceiling. And rotate this light. And change the color temperature to a warm color. And resize this strip light. Copy this strip light and put it on the other side. Move it to place. Okay, let's change this temperature to a higher value, 4000. The next step is to create the sunlight. Go to environment, turn on the sun, and we can increase the sun radius to 10 and change the custom direction over the altitude to and rotate the sun to find the proper position. We can decrease the intensity to 0.5. Now update the scene. The next step is to create some spotlight above the furniture. Let's put it here. Move it up. And we can change the color temperature to a warm color. And change the intensity to 50. Now go to the top view. And change the display to wireframe. And copy this light to here. And then two more, one above the pillow. And another one on the other side. And we also want to copy one above this table and also this table. Now we can select all those lights. Ctrl G to group and go back to the view. And we can move it. Okay. Now let's create point lights in the lamp. Create a point light and put it inside the lamp. And change its intensity to 1. And let's select the material. And we can change the material to cloth material. And maybe we can decrease the intensity of this light to 0.5 and use a warm color like 3000. Okay, we can copy this light to the other side of the lamp. Select this lamp and change its roughness to 1. And we can go back to the view. Let's adjust the light's position. Now we need to create this light inside this lamp. Let's go to this light and let's put it here. And we can go to top view and change display to wireframe. And let's resize this light. Let's move it to the center of this lamp. And we can go back to the view, move it inside this lamp. Okay, we can change the material of this light to cloth material. And select this light and change its color temperature to a warm color. The intensity to a lower value. Select the background image and let's change this to emissive material. Change the intensity to 10 and select temperature. Okay, that's all the lights we need. Let's go to Effect and increase the exposure. Suppress the highlight exposure, so the brightest part of our image will be darker. And increase the shadow exposure, so the darkest part of our image will be brighter. And we can increase the contrast. I also want to change the white balance to a warmer tone. Let's increase this to a higher value. And also increase the tint a little bit. Turn on LUT, I want to apply a custom LUT. Can use the 09 and change the intensity to a lower value. Now we can update and save all those changes. It's time to adjust the material. First, select the ceiling and change its roughness to 1. And select this wall and change its roughness to 1. And select this painting on the wall and increase the roughness to 1. And also this painting, increase to 1. Select the carpet and increase the roughness to 1. And we can add a normal map. We can select this one and increase the value to 1 so we can see the effect. For the final rendering, we will use point tool. And let's select the wood floor material and increase the roughness to a higher value. Select the lamp material, and right now it's a little too dark. We can increase the brightness. Select the fabric and change roughness to 1. And also those pillows, roughness to 1. Roughness to 1. And do the same for this material. Roughness to 1. And right now this texture is a little big. We can change the UV to 2. So it's smaller, the texture. And do the same for this cloth. Roughness to 1. Roughness to 1. Do the same for this pillow. select a curtain and change this material to cloth. And we can decrease the opacity to a low value, so it's translucent. We can select this curtain material and just change roughness to 1. Do the same for this material. And select the glass, and we can change the base color to pure white and opacity to 0. Now select the frame of the window and let's increase the brightness. And select this wood material. Let's change its base color a little bit. And select this nice stem material and we can change its color too. Select the floor material and we can also adjust its color. And select the lamp material, and right now it's too bright. We can lower its value. Do the same for this lamp. Let's fine-tune the exposure and export. Update the scene and then export. Select 4K and export. Okay, this is our final rendering. It's a little dark. You can increase the exposure in D5. Also, you can fine-tune the materials and the lights. You can download the SketchUp model, HDR, LUT, and normal maps from my Patreon. Thanks for watching. I see you next time. Goodbye.